So if you've been in the graphic design space at all, I'm sure you've seen this guy. And I recently was watching a video on how much he charges for a logo, and this is what he said.
What do we charge? I think we charge anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000 for the logo.
Yeah, dude, that was my exact face too. Now, obviously, charging 15 to 30K for just a logo is astronomical in my mind. And for the vast majority of people, that is completely unattainable. Not to be negative, I'm just trying to be more realistic. That doesn't mean I don't think he gets that. There is a small percentage of companies and people that get that amount of money for just creating a logo. So I have no doubt that he gets that. But for the majority of us graphic designers, what can we charge for a logo?
But first, I want to interrupt this program to thank our sponsor, which is me. I've come out with a course called Intro to Graphic Design. So if you're looking to get into graphic design or want to learn more about graphic design, this is the course for you. I go deep into the fundamentals of graphic design, what applications you use and how to use them, the creative process, and why it's so important to utilize it every single time. And then we go and design our own graphic design pieces, which is a logo, a poster, and a YouTube thumbnail. And then I go over how to create your own portfolio. If you are looking to get into graphic design or really expand and grow in graphic design, this is the course for you. Now, I have to say this too, this is the exact course that I wish that I had when I first started out in graphic design. I wanted to make sure it was jam-packed with a ton of value, and it is. So if you're interested in getting this course, it's in the link in the description below. Now, back to the program.
What's up, you guys? My name is Michael Tandarich, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have been doing graphic design and marketing for 10 plus years, and in this YouTube channel, I teach you how to grow your freelance business. So like I said, today we're gonna talk about what you can actually charge for creating logos. Now, obviously there's a ton of different competitors out there and the price range is crazy, from like 10 bucks on Fiverr to, clearly $30,000 that this guy is charging. So what exactly can you charge to create your logo? Well, not your logo, but a client's logo. So there are a couple of factors that determine what you can charge for your logo design work. And those are your experience, the size of the company of the client that you're doing the work for, and the experience level that you want to give to that client. So let's dive into each one of those. Obviously, your experience is pretty self-explanatory. Like, how much work have you done doing logo work? Have you been doing it for years and you've done a ton of different logos for clients? Or are you just starting out and you're just starting out in your graphic design career? Like, where are you on that spectrum? Because that's really going to help you determine how much you should charge. Now, I'll give you some examples of clients and what we can charge at the end of this video. Now, the next factor is the size of the company. If a company is just starting out, or it's someone that has an idea for a business, which happens to be a lot of people that are looking for logo work, the budget is very, very small. However, if you have built up your graphic design business to a point where you have employees and processes and all this stuff, you can really get a lot higher end clients, which would then pay you more to create that logo. However, again, being realistic, that is a very small percentage of people that can actually get to that $30,000 mark for creating a logo. Typically, you're gonna be sitting at a couple $100s. Now, the third factor is what's the experience that you can offer to the client. This is the biggest piece of determining how much you should actually charge. And what I mean by experience is when you have a client come to you and they are looking for a logo, instead of just texting back to them or emailing back being like, hey, this is how much I charge, great, and then they move along. The experience that you provide for this person, like, okay, great, you wanna get a logo done. That's fantastic. Here's our process. Here's what we do. We dive into your competitors. We dive into, people that you wanna look like, people that you don't wanna look like. We have this whole form that you fill out. We do an initial meeting to go over, what your brand means. Those type of layers that you add on top of a logo is what really can help you jack up the price. Because what happens is the client's not just getting a nice graphic design piece. What they're getting strategy sessions. They're getting a form to fill out. They're getting the feeling that this designer is really diving into what my company can provide, what my company does, and how to make my company stand out from everyone else. Think of it like this. You can go on Amazon and order a suit, for example, right? And then I'm sure the next day or even that day, that suit will be there and it'll be probably pretty cheap. But if you go to a high-end suit company and they're tailor fitting your suit and sending it out to Italy to make it and doing all this special stuff and having you come in and like fitting it again for you, that entire process creates this amazing experience for you where you're not just paying for the suit at that point. You're paying for that experience of being able to get a tailored suit and getting it shipped off to Italy and all this stuff. So that's what I mean by experience. So when you're creating a logo for a client, if you can create the experience around that, then you can increase the price. However, I will say most of the clients that want the experience factor are the larger end clients. But that doesn't mean you can't have a good experience for smaller end clients. It still helps increase the price. So that being said, let me give you a couple of examples of clients and how much you should actually be charging them. So for the first example, let's say a client is starting out with their business. They have no website, they have no branding, they have nothing, but they want a logo made that they can put on some business cards and some t-shirts. A client like this is very low budget. They have not much money to start with. They can easily go to some place like Fiverr to get it for like $25. So you would be competing with people on Fiverr. However, this is where your experience and the experience you can create for the client come into play. If you don't have much experience, these clients are perfect for you because it allows you to go and get some practice, charge less than most people, and really start to build up your portfolio. However, you still need to figure out how to beat out those Fiverr people. So that's where it's important to have at least a form that they can fill out, where they can fill out, okay, these are some examples of logos we like, these are examples of logos we don't like. And not only does this make it a good experience for the client, but it makes it easier on you to figure out exactly what they want their logo to look like. And these type of clients, like I said, are perfect for building up your portfolio and really getting started. Now, a client like this, typically you can charge anywhere from $100 to $300. Again, $300 would be pushing it for a newer person, but if you have a lot of experience and you have that experience factor that you can give to a client, then you can push it up a little higher. Now for the next example would be like a medium-sized company. So this is a company that's already up and running. They've been running for years. They've had an old logo and they're really just kind of looking to get a new one. These type of clients are perfect for creating that awesome experience and being able to charge a little bit more because of that. However, with these type of clients, you will need a little bit more experience or have a lot of experience to land these type of clients. Now, like I said, you want to make sure that you have that form, you're having strategy meetings with them, trying to figure out who their competition are, and you really want to build up some kind of experience for these type of clients so that you can charge a little bit more. Now, for a client like this is where typically most of my logo clients land, is anywhere from about $400 to $600. Now, that's just the logo. That's not doing any kind of brand guidelines or messaging or creating any kind of like templates for them, like flyer templates or business cards or anything like that. That is just doing the logo. And what's nice is if you have the experience and you've been doing it for a couple years like I have, and then you also can build up that experience for that client, then you can really start to churn these things and really bring in like that $400 to $600 range and get a couple of these every single month. And it only takes a couple days to put this logo together. Again, like I said, this type of client, once you really start to get into a groove of doing graphic design, is the client that you'll typically get. Now, the last example is a very large corporation that has, hundreds of employees, and you're going in and doing their entire logo and brand and redoing everything. Now, this is where experience needs to be top level on everything. And what I mean by that is you obviously have to have a ton of experience doing logo and branding and strategy. And you also need to provide an amazing experience for that huge client. Now, I will say this, these type of clients, you can charge thousands of dollars to do. Clearly, this guy is doing $30,000 or $15,000 to $30,000 to do this type of client work. So to recap, the first thing you need to realize is what's my experience level? Then what type of size business is this client? And then what type of experience can I provide that client based off the fact of where they are in their lifespan? If it's a smaller, newer company, typically that's about $100 to $300. If it's a medium-sized company, just for a logo, $400 to $600 is a perfect kind of range where I've seen the land. And then if it's a large corporation, you can go a couple $1,000s. And again, that's without doing any kind of brand guidelines or really any kind of messaging or any other like flyer work or anything like that. So that's how much I charge for logos. Hopefully that provides some helpful information for you. And if it did, I would greatly appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.